Okay, for number 7, you have the volume of a cone, and they're asking you to find the radius to the nearest hundredth when the height of the cone is 3 inches and its volume is 15 cubic inches. Okay, so you can do one of two things. You could solve for R first and then just substitute in the numbers for H and for V. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to put V is 1/3 pi R squared H. So I'm going to divide by H and by pi. Now do the same thing on this left side. So that eliminates the pi and the H. And then we have V over pi H equals 1/3 R squared. So I'm going to multiply by 3 on both sides. So that eliminates the 3 on the right side. And then that leaves me with R squared. Okay, so take the square root of both sides. So I've got the square root of 3V over pi H equals the square root of R squared. Okay, since R is representing the radius of the cone, we're going to take the positive square root, okay, not a negative square root. So R equals the square root of 3V over pi H. Now, everything is inside the radical. I know this one was kind of short, but let me extend it a little bit longer. The whole fraction is inside the radical. So V is 15. And H is 3. So I can simplify here with 3, and it's still inside the radical. So then you get, actually I should put equals still because I haven't calculated that. So I don't have a calculator right now with me, but you would basically take the 15 divided by pi, and then that result, find the square root of that quotient. So 15 divided by pi first, and which would be somewhere around 5, 5, a little bit under 5, and then take the square root of that, okay? And then round it to 2 decimal places. In class, I'll give you the actual answer. I just don't have a calculator with me right now. Okay, for number 8, it's asking you for the simplest form of the number. So notice that the radicand, the number inside the square root, is 2 in both of them, right? So I can write this as 2 to the 1/2 times 2 to the 1/8. Now when you're multiplying two numbers, and bases are the same, bases are equal, you add the exponents. So 1/2 plus 1/8 is equal to 4/8 plus 1/8. So that's going to give you 5/8. So that's my numerator. So it's 2 to the 5/8. Okay, so this is a multiple choice problem, so the answer is A. Okay, for number 9, I think there should be, it must be a typo because it's missing parentheses around the -27, because otherwise the answer, if without the parentheses, the answer wouldn't be any of the choices that are provided for you. So we're taking the cubed root. So remember, I recommend that you take the root first, this one right here, which happens to be 3, so it's cube root. And then once you find the cube root of -27, you take that number and then raise it to the second power. So think power high, root, think of the root of a plant or root of a tree. It goes to the ground, it's on the bottom. So this is the root, the one on the bottom, and this is the power, the one on the top. Okay? So the cubed root, forgot to change it. The cube root of -27, and then we're going to take that number and we're going to square it. So the cube root of negative 27 is negative 3, and then you're going to square it, and it gives you 9. See, if the parentheses were not there at in the original problem, then the answer had to be negative 9, because the negative wasn't part of the 2/3 here. The 2/3 power would only be affecting the 27, not the negative. Okay, so you need those parentheses. Alright, for number 10, we're solving for x. It says what's the solution, so we're solving for x. So first thing we need to do is isolate the radical. So we need to leave this part right here by itself first. So in order to achieve that, we add 7 to both sides. That eliminates the 7 on the left, so we're left with square root of x plus 10, oops, sorry about that, equals 2. So we got to get rid of the radical because we want x by itself. So I'm going to square both sides, and that leaves me with x plus 10 on the left side and 4 on the right side. So we subtract 10. Okay, so we're left with x equals negative 6. And then you could just plug it in into the original, make sure it works, and it does. Negative 6 plus 10 is 4. Square root of 4 is 2. 2 minus 7 is negative 5, so that works. So here's the answer. Alright, 11, another equation that that is asking you guys to solve for x. So just like on number 10, we need to isolate the radical. Now you don't see an actual radical symbol, right? But we know that the fractional power right here is actually a radical in disguise right here. So we're going to leave this part by itself. Okay? So first thing is add 5 to both sides. So 4, 3 minus x to the 4/3. So that's 64. And get rid of the, divide both sides by 4. Because again, we want that 3 minus x to the 4/3 power by itself. So now we have that equals 16. Now we want to get rid of that 4/3, right? Because we want to get to the 3 minus x to leave that part alone. So then we're going to raise it to a power that is going to cancel that 4/3. So the only power that does that is the reciprocal of 4/3. And you're going to do that on both sides. So on the left side, 4/3 times 3/4 is 1. So that leaves us with 3 minus x. And then on the right side, remember just like a previous problem, what was it, number 9? I'm going to apply the root first, which is 4. And then whatever number I get, I'm going to raise it to the 3rd power. Okay, so the 4th root of 16 is 2. And 2 to the 3rd power is 8. Okay, so I have 3 minus x equals 8. Well, subtract 3 from both sides. And so I have negative x equals 5, which means that positive x equals negative 5. Okay? And then, you could just using mental math, go back and replace the x with a negative 5. So then that gives you up here 3 minus negative 5 is 8. Then you raise it to the 4/3 power, so cube root of 8 is 2. 2 to the 4th is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. Minus 5 is 59. So it works out. Okay, for number 12, we're adding 10 to both sides. And then that leaves us with x, square root of x plus 8 equals 6. We want to eliminate the radical, so we square both sides. So that leaves us with x plus 8 equals 36. Subtract 8. So then x equals 28. Okay, and that's what we get for x. So again, just a quick check, go back to the original problem, which means up here, before we crossed everything out, all this stuff right here. And so 28 plus 8 is 36. The square root of 36 is 6. 6 minus 10 is -4, so it checks.